Hi, kindergartners. Welcome back to our almost last library class. If you did not get a chance to do library with us last week, click on the button below and it will take you to that video. You are all almost first graders. That is so exciting. And we are all almost done with our kindergarten library classes. Next year, no matter what school you go to, you will probably be going to the school library and learning from the school librarian as big first graders. This summer, you might even get a chance to go to the library in your town because they are starting to open up. Our story today is going to teach us all about what school librarians do and what you can learn from them. You guys will have so much fun with a school librarian as big first graders. And if you get a chance to go to the library in your town this summer, I hope you do. That is a great chance to look for some books written about the things that you love. So let's get into this story where we get to meet a school librarian. Our story is called Let's Meet a Librarian, written by Gina Belisario, illustrated by Ed Meyer. Our class is on a mission. We're going to find out what a librarian does. We decide to visit Mr. Field. He is our school librarian. So a librarian is the teacher in the library. She will be teaching you, he or she will be teaching you library class. I'm an information expert, says Mr. Field. What does that mean? Asks Joey. Let me show you, he says. What's something you really like? Dinosaurs, says Joey. Mr. Field uses his computer to track down a T-Rex. Then he tells Joey how to find books in the library about the T-Rex. How did you do that? Asked Joey. Mr. Field says we can look for books about anything using the online catalog. So in library class, you will be using computers to search out the stuff that you love to learn about, and that will help you find the books that you love to read. That's going to be awesome for the librarian to help you do that in your library class. The catalog on the computer is Mr. Field's librarian tool. It lists all of the books and movies in our library. He can also see things in other libraries. So all of the books and movies that you could find in your library is found on the online catalog on the computers found in the library. This boy's thinking maybe Mr. Fields is a spy because he knows everything about the library books. Uh-oh, Jack is talking in the library. Shh, whispers Grace. But Mr. Field doesn't mind. He says making noise can help us learn. He plays music from around the world. Mr. Field can get loud. So most people like to stay very quiet in the library like we have practiced because that helps them focus on what they're reading. But Mr. Field seems like a special librarian because he likes to play music in his library. Speaking up with your voice is important for librarians. It is how they share information. They give library tours and puppet shows. So librarians have lots to do when their students come into class. Librarians are full of facts. Reading so much helps them know about all kinds of things. Librarians like hearing from you too, so ask a librarian a question and pump up your brain power. So as you can imagine, librarians read lots and lots of stories about lots and lots of things, so they know a lot, and they're a good person to go to ask your questions about. But they also want to hear about you and what you have learned. Our teacher, Mrs. Rios, needs help. Her computer is stuck. Presto! Mr. Field came to the rescue. He says librarians are technology wizards. So if you have any problems with your computer at school, the librarian is also someone who knows a lot about computers and technology. Mr. Field is good at troubleshooting. Troubleshooting means to solve problems. So Mr. Field and all librarians are good at solving problems. He teaches us how to use computers to do our schoolwork, and he teaches our teacher how to keep our computers safe from viruses. Mrs. Rios can save the day. Not every librarian lends a hand in school. Some help out in museums or in hospitals. Librarians also work at public libraries. These libraries are open to the community or to your town. So there are librarians all over, not just in school. Mr. Field came to read us a story, so we give our book helper a hand too. See, they are clapping for their librarian because he read them such a nice story. And that is the end of our story about meeting a librarian. I hope you feel like you know more about the school librarian and what you will be doing in there and learning in library class. Remember, it's not just about books, you will also be learning about technology. Please don't forget to join me next week for our very last library class. Next week is our very last kindergarten library class. We will be reading a story about first grade, and I will be saying my goodbye. I am so proud of you guys. I will see you next week. Bye, friends.